We will be back in just a few short minutes with round number 2, where we will have another 6 champion artists getting ready to earn their spot in the Canadian National Championship. We're going to have another 6 artists up at the easels, all Art Battle winners, finalists, veterans, if you will, veterans of Art Battle. And we will have 6 more blank canvases on the easels and another 20 minutes on the clock. Back with our featured artist, Alan Andre here as well, previous Art Battle Canada national champion. Once again, we are looking at Alan Andre, previous Art Battle Canada champion. He is not in the competition tonight as a retired champ, but he is here gracing us with this beautiful artwork, an exhibition painting that will be done over the course of the evening. Alan Andre is actually the defending national champion. He was the winner of the 2019 event in Toronto, the 2019 National Canadian Championship, and he will be defending his title in Toronto on July 20th. So whoever wins tonight to represent Ottawa will also be facing Alan Andre. And I have to say, looking at this piece, that's a little intimidating. What do you guys think? I'm loving this piece. The very careful execution of light and shadow here already is just gorgeous. I can't wait to see how it turns out by the end of the night. If you guys are out there in the internet watching with me, please comment and let me know who you're voting for in round number one. Or if you don't feel like giving up that sweet info, just tell me what you thought of round number one, which pieces were your favorites, whose performance did you particularly enjoy? Is there anyone coming up in round number two that you're excited to see? We have Alexander Barker, Susannah Robertson, Rob Nicholson, Dom Laporte, and of course our wild card, our brave wild card, chosen from the crowd, Christy Shear. We will be beginning that round in just a few moments. Coming right up, we're just counting the votes, so don't forget to get yours in at artbattle.com/vote. We are just getting ready to reset the easels and have our 6 additional artists stepping up to the easels for round number 2. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few minutes with more live painting action. Our organizers on the ground in Ottawa have just informed me that we are 2 minutes out from round number 2. Coming up in the lineup there is Alexander Barker, Susannah Robertson, Rob Nicholson, and Dom Laporte. And of course, last but not least, our wildcard artist, Christy Shears. So stay tuned. Looks like the easels have already been turned over with brand new canvases on them. So round number 2 starting imminently. Our organizers on the ground in Ottawa have just informed me.
We're gonna make it through this. I know it's a little warm in here, and there's a natural musk about the room that's just so hippie-ish and good. I love it. Thank you. I shouldn't say things like that. Right? Well, you know what? Maybe I'll fire myself at some point for shit like that. But anyways, are you ready to meet your artist? All right. Oh, before I do, I just want to remind you, please keep an eye out for our amazing photographers tonight. We're streaming this live on Discord. People are watching from around the world. Maybe it's on the net. It's possible, right? Really, I should be tracking that as well, but I'm old, man. I can't do that crap anymore. Old dog, new tricks, all that, yada, yada, yada. All right, so, and I downloaded a timer during the last break, so I won't screw it up this time. Won't have to rely on Google, which turned off, so they actually got maybe an extra 2 minutes. Don't tell the powers that be. All right, so on easel number 1, Mr. Alexander Barker. On easel number 2, Susannah Robertson. On easel number 3, Mr. Rob Nicholson. On easel number 4, Dom Laporte. Oh, I'm sorry. And our wild card artist of the night, Kristen Shire. I butchered her name last time, I'm sorry. We took a class together, I should know this stuff. But anyway, if you come to art battles over time, you will realize that I'm the worst person for this job. But anyway, so, are you ready? We're gonna count down from 10 again. So, with your help, from 10, 9,
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
let's paint!
Okay, officially, we have 20 minutes on the clock for round number 2 of the Art Battle Ottawa City Championship. One artist from this event tonight will move on to the National Championships taking place in Toronto on July 20th. At the easels here, we have, we can just see the corner of his blue canvas there, Alexander Barker, well-known artist for dabbling in realism and concentrating on light and shade. At easel number 2, we have Susannah Robertson, who's already taking a cheeky approach to her canvas. Smoke and Hail Satan, I think it says. Pretty hilarious already. We will see if that text survives the 20 minutes or not. And of course, here rocking out right now is Rob Nicholson at easel number 3. We can see him laying down his paint. And at easel number 4 a very winning artist, Dom Laporte, and also an artist that I particularly enjoy watching paint. And of course, last but not least, our wildcard artist, Kristen Shire. We can see Dom is not fooling around with a very rapid paint application happening here. He is moving so quickly, making sure to get that canvas really well covered. Looks like Rob is trying to interrupt him here. I wonder what's going on there. And now we can see that Rob has his reference paper that he's putting up to the easel. But we've panned back to Dom and this very furious application of color. And it's funny watching him apply this so aggressively, but then you step back and it's a very soft color blend in actuality. Really beautifully blended work there. And then our wildcard artist, Kristen, starting off with kind of, I think this is like an orangey sky, and then looks like we've got some grass happening in the foreground. Oh, or perhaps that isn't a sky. We're seeing more green being applied in the top third, so we will have to see from Kristen. Dom still working on this color gradient. Now it looks like he is wiping the paint away, which is a really great technique for making sure that your canvas is as dry as possible so that you can layer over top of it. At easel number 3, we have Rob here. And I feel like I know what he's painting. Did you guys get a chance to peek at that reference photo there? I hope that you did. And back with Susannah here. And I was correct that she would be painting over the lettering that she had there. I think that was definitely more of a performance aspect for the crowd. People are definitely paying attention to her after you write something like that on your canvas. And now we can see that she is obscuring most of the text work with this portrait here done in blue as a joke that we often make at Art Battle. For anyone that knows me, I paint blue people, so we call me our resident bluist, and I often have a bias towards blue paintings. Speaking of which, checking out Alexander Barker here, very blue painting. Whole canvas is covered in this kind of circular motion of brush strokes in the cerulean color with little dots of phthalo and ultramarine in there as well. I think that that is going to end up being a water scene. I would not be surprised. And here we can see Susannah is just roughing in her shadows here. I really am liking the way that she's painting this. She's going kind of from larger shapes then into the details. So we can see she's roughed in her hair, the impression of the eyes and the mouth and the shadow underneath the chin. Definitely a good strategy. 5 minutes in, and we can see that she's got quite a lot done. I like that strategy, working big to small, because it means that you don't necessarily get caught up in the details too soon. Art Battle is very much a time management situation. You really have to plan out what your steps are going to be in kind of the 4 quadrants of the round, the 4 5-minute segments. The first 5 minutes should really be establishing your prep work and getting your plans laid out on the canvas. Much like we see Rob here, I see that he has drawn his figure here. We can see that he's drawn in pencil the face of his figure and is now laying down some color wash over top of that. And Rob also was very quick with the tape. So, fun fact about Rob is I just saw him on Tuesday. He actually earned a spot in 2 championship events this season. Rob represented in Toronto and competed in Toronto on Tuesday. So this is his 2nd championship event of the week, which I think is really, really badass. So 6 minutes in, we can tell that Rob's got a very well-laid plan going on. Okay, checking back in with Kristen. And looks like the green strokes that we have at the bottom of the canvas have turned into kind of a floral foreground. Nice work from Kristen. You never know what we're going to get with a wildcard artist, but we can definitely see that Kristen has an art background. In the top third of the canvas, looks like we're getting kind of a forest in the background. Perhaps we're on the bank of a river. And then coming back to Dom here. And Dom has a really wonderful way of painting. It's almost a collage-like way of painting. His studio work is, he's I think, one of the most impressive artists in Canada. He's someone whose work that I really, really enjoy. So it's always an absolute pleasure to see him painting live. That is the beauty of Art Battle. We get to kind of see the way that these artists work demystified. So right now we can see that Dom has created a lot of texture on the canvas. Looks like he's done that through the use of paper towel. And so he's got this really unique textural wash going on in the background. And he's painting a portrait over top of that now. And we just saw Rob Nicholson actually fanning his background wash application so that he can get it nice and dry before working over top of it. Ooh, getting a nice tape removal there. Always love a crisp line like that. If you are out there in the internet watching us, would love to hear from you guys who you think Rob is painting. I think I know. More work on this blue portrait being done by Susannah. Really liking the different uses of blue here. We have a cerulean going on, and also the ultramarine is being used as kind of the shadow part, and the cerulean, that lighter blue, is definitely being used more like a mid-tone. And then we can see that she's layering white over top of all of those elements to kind of harmonize everything, represent the highlights, and that white is also picking up some of the colors from the writing that was underneath it, so we're getting an interesting sense of warmth, and occasionally some purple tones kind of coming in there. Also liking the little hits of yellow, providing that that color contrast there. Back with Alexander Barker here and his water scene. Can't wait to see what he's painting. Lift your forearm. I want to see it. Okay, amazing. Looks like we have a mermaid just kind of swimming to the surface. We can see the light represented at the top of the water in the corner there. And it's just amazing to see what he's able to do representing water there. You're really kind of understanding the surface tension of the top of the ocean there. Wow. So we have just passed the halfway mark. We are 10 minutes in to this second round. The artists have 10 more minutes left on the clock to finish their pieces. Everyone, I think, is working really well, managing their time correctly. All of these artists, I think with the exception of our wildcard, are veteran art battle artists. Susannah actually has painted in a few different cities, I think, as well, and she is a 4-time winner. Wow, so impressive. And here we are back with Alexander, and the mermaid here in composition is fairly small, but the movement that's happening in the water is really helping this composition to feel very full. So I think that this piece will work well from a distance as well as up close. And we're seeing him painting this kind of translucent tail on the mermaid here. Just getting the hair of the mermaid down here now. Looks like he's adding in some warmer tones there to kind of balance that. And as the light hits the canvas, as our camera pans around, we can really see the level of texture that's also represented in the water. We're getting those bigger strokes of phthalo blue and that ultramarine there. And speaking of ultramarine, we can see that Susannah is working more into her shadows there, just kind of honing in on that. I really want us to pan back over to Rob. He is just having an absolute blast. I love that Rob is just dancing fully while he's painting now. He's having such a great time. Rob is just such a wonderful performance painter. His work is always really tight and really well executed, but he has so much fun while he's doing it. And that really can't be ignored as a performance aspect. Like, I don't think that that's coming from a place of trying to be performative. It's just his pure art battle joy. And when an artist is painting like that, the crowd really connects with them as well. And this piece, I'm sure, will be connecting with a lot of people. It looks like a Bob Marley portrait, and the technique of outlining this flag in these very perfect, crisp lines, and then using the figure to break the bounds of those crisp lines, I think, is also another great way to kind of pull people into this canvas. And back over to Dom here, and looks like he has switched up the portrait that he was working on. I think that previously when we had come by, the portrait was facing the other way. So it looks like he has erased it and decided to work with something different. Either that or he is layering over top of it. And of course, we can see our wildcard artist, Kristen, here. And looks like we have a sunflower field. Very apt at this moment. Really enjoying the energy of Dom's piece here. These kind of angular lines, a very stylized approach. Again, Rob is just having such a great time. So we officially have 5 minutes remaining on the clock. Go to artbattle.com/vote if you have not registered yet, and make sure that you cast your vote. It often comes down to a single vote determining who will make it forward into the third and final round. So make sure that you choose your favorite artist and that you cast your vote. And don't forget, if you can't pick, just go with your heart. It's big stakes tonight. The winning artist of the whole round or of the whole night will be moving on to the 2022 Canadian National Championship taking place on July 20th in Toronto. So it is a big deal. The top two artists from round number 1 and from this round will be moving on to the final showdown round, where they will have another canvas and another timed round and another opportunity to gather your votes. At the end of that round, one single winner will be chosen. So you have 4 more minutes to watch these second round paintings evolve and start thinking about it. Who have you loved watching paint? I know I'm really enjoying watching Kristen paint right now. She's grooving with it too, getting those lighter tones into the sky. And the way that she's built that piece is really beautiful, using kind of the undertone of orange behind the flowers to really make them pop. And back with Dom here. And we can see that he is just carefully adding in these details in the final minutes. We can see that he's working with this squared off white brush, creating these highlights here. Highlights can never be underestimated when it comes to a portrait. Highlights are really what ends up making something pop. Even just that little tick of white that you often will see in the eye of a portrait called a catch light, that's something that really helps the viewer connect and make eye contact with that portrait. So highlights, gotta love them. And we can see Dom's hands are just moving so rapidly. Starting to get some warmth being pushed into the cheeks now. Definitely helping to bring the planes of the face forward. Few minutes remaining. A very exciting second round. It's going to be really hard to choose our votes, I think. I really got to say, Rob has done such a fantastic job, created a really tight piece here. Very well, very clean, very well executed. Susannah here, just so intelligent in the way that she's approached this painting. So many different elements for the audience to engage with, and a very beautiful execution of gradients in the skin there. And then we have Alexander, who's taken a more zoomed out approach in his composition, but is still achieving a beautiful sense of movement and light in this piece as well. We are down to our final 60 seconds. We can see that Dom is kind of looking around for a tool here. Perhaps thinking about how he's going to be making his last marks. We can see him adding in those final details in the eye there, those all-important highlights that I was just talking about. I hope that Dom does not forget to take off his tape. We only have 20 seconds left on the clock, and he still has all of his tape on that canvas. Take your tape off, Dom.
Brushes down! There you go, ladies and gentlemen, your round number 2 artists. Top 2 will move on as chosen by you to our third and final round.
All right, the second round has officially come to a close with the crowd shouting, "Brushes down." That was a really great championship level round. Tons of talent up at the easels. I know that it's going to be a really tough call to see who will be voted forward to the nationals. So definitely make sure that you go to artbattle.com/vote and cast your vote. It will be the top 2 artists from this round and the top 2 artists from the first round will be moving on to the finals to paint again, where one artist will be crowned the winner and will move forward to represent Ottawa. So definitely make sure that you do that. We will be back in just a few minutes as we gather all of the votes. Once again, we are hanging out with Alan Andre, defending Canadian national champion. So the winning artist from tonight's battle event will be battling Andre. And check out this painting. It's so atmospheric. It's so emotive. Just an absolutely stunning execution here by Alan Andre. You can tell why he is a national champ. Just an absolutely gorgeous piece from him here. And this piece is also available for silent auction at theartbattle.com/vote link. So head on over there and you have a chance to collect this piece. The votes have been counted, and we are just waiting for our venue team to announce our 4 finalist artists moving on to the final showdown round. So the top 2 artists as voted by the audience from round 1 and round 2 will be painting again in a third and final round where one winner will be crowned. That winner will move on to the Canadian National Championships taking place July 20th in Toronto and will be representing their city, Ottawa. Our finalist artists for tonight have been announced. Moving forward to the final round, from round one, Sarah O'Neill and Gord Coulthart. And from round number two, Alexander Barker and Susannah Robertson. So big congratulations to these four artists moving forward into the final, where they will compete again with another blank canvas, another timed round, and one single winner will be voted forward into the national championships. We are just giving these artists a chance to reset their palettes, shake out their nerves, and get ready to paint again. We will be back in just a few minutes at the easels with Sarah O'Neill, Gord Coulthart, Alexander Barker, and Susannah Robertson. In just a few moments, we will have the beginning of round number 3. Our finalists have been announced. They are Sarah O'Neill, Gord Coulthard, Alexander Barker, and Susannah Robertson. Really, really excited to see these guys paint again. And at the end of the night, we're going to know who will be moving forward to represent Ottawa in the 2022 Canadian National Championships. So very high stakes here tonight. The next timed round is going to truly matter. So let's watch the paint fly coming up in just a couple of minutes. Absolutely stunning piece from 2019 defending Canadian national champion Alan Andre here. This piece is also available for silent auction at that same link, artbattle.com/vote. Just scroll a little bit and you will see this piece available. We are just heading in to begin the third and final
Approaching
round.
the easel. Can we get a round of applause for rounds 1 and 2? It was really close, like neck and neck there right at the end. Love that.
I was wondering how
So you still have time to bid on all the pieces as well. So help us give this wonderful art a loving home. And it would help if I remembered where my timer was.
It's kind of nice.
All right, so what time is it? All right, so 20 minutes on the clock. Oh, did it come off? All artists are at the easel. So let's introduce them one more time. Who on your final round is voted by you. On easel number 1, Miss Sarah O'Neill. On easel number 2, Mr. Gord Coulthard. On easel number 3, Alexander Barker. And last and certainly not least on easel number 4, Susannah Robertson. All right, Ottawa, here we go. Well, you know what we do. From 10, 9,
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
let's paint!
All right, we officially have 20 minutes on the clock for the third and final round of Art Battle Toronto. Art Battle Ottawa. Art Battle Ottawa. The finals are going to be happening in Toronto. And we are off to a banger start. We have these 4 artists, our 4 finalists, Sarah O'Neill, Gord Coulthard, Alexander Barker, and Susannah Robertson, all painting their hearts out in an effort to make it to the 2022 Canadian National Championship happening on July 20th in Toronto. If you are in Toronto or if you're planning on making a trip, make sure that you go to our website and grab some tickets. And if you are preferring to stay out in the internets and watch the stream with me, we will be streaming live from the venue as well. So we can see some really rapid movement happening here already. Checking out Alexander Barker here, and looks like he is going for a more muted palette than he was previously. We're getting a little bit of sienna and browns from him. And then at easel 2, we have Gord Coulthard, who looks like he is laying down his signature bright, warm underpainting. So very, very interested to see how Gord goes over top of that. I love the way that he blends over top of that. And here we are with Sarah O'Neill, and Sarah is just jamming out right now to the music at the venue. And looks like she has sketched out her piece in pencil. So we see that she's used her first 2 minutes of the round establishing her sketch. And I love that we can see that the sketch is pretty loose. She's using such rapid movements. Doesn't look like she's going overly specific. I think that there's going to be some looseness in this portrait, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. Now we can see Gord layering over his signature trees with their kind of falling boughs. He paints, it's almost like a contemporary version of a group of seven. So it's very traditional Canadian kind of subject matter with the way that he's depicting these trees, but the treatment in terms of color and the very obvious brushwork and the quite saturated colors kind of bring it into this more contemporary space. And now we're checking out Alexander Barker, and looks like we're getting some beautiful dusty clouds happening. Lots of softness blending into each other. And at our fourth easel, Susannah Robertson, she's taken the opposite color approach to her first round piece. Her first round piece was a blue portrait. Looks like we are getting treated to a nice rubine red, nice pinky red portrait being established here. And looks like this is going to be a female portrait where her first round painting was a male. So these are going to be great companion pieces in terms of hopefully mirroring palette and also similar subject matter that will play well with each other, I think. We are 4 minutes into the round. Would love to hear from you guys out in the comments who you are loving watching painting. Oh, wow. Check out what Alexander's doing. We're seeing he's just added quite a lot of darkness into this sky here, and he's just kind of fluffing and blending it out. Really great introduction of contrast here, and a nice surprising element as well. Oh, love seeing that hit of yellow from Susannah in the forehead there. I really, really enjoy watching her paint. Just the way that she establishes her highs and her lows, and the contrast that she's able to get while keeping everything still super saturated. I am into it. And yeah, just getting this gorgeous softness here from Alexander. And now we're seeing the introduction of this kind of gray tone. So initially, I think I thought that the whole color tone of this piece was going to be leaning into that sienna. But now I'm seeing that I think that that might have been an element of underpainting, and Alex is really layering over top of that there. And speaking of underpainting, back with Gord here and his signature warm undertones, and he is layering some pretty thick blue paint over top and starting to frame out those boughs. Just love watching Gord's technique. He is such an experienced artist and experienced art battle painter, and Just the way that he approaches his technique, he knows it so well. And that's something that I always really admire and love seeing up at the easel. And looks like Susannah is not the only artist that is taking an opposite color approach to their work. We can see that Sarah is working in this blue tone here, whereas her first round portrait was definitely more in the warm color scale. And we're seeing these beautiful curvilinear lines and just really this kind of ghostly figure almost. So I know we have just about 13 minutes left on the clock, but I almost love it so much at this point that I think that she could leave it. That often happens at Art Battle, where you just end up falling in love with all of these different stages of the painting as they happen. And that's the beauty of watching live painting. And we can see that she's just really bouncing her brush along the canvas and creating some nice, beautiful, loose line work there. It's interesting seeing her painting so joyfully a piece that is kind of communicating more of a morose nature just from the color palette. And Gord here with that super bright blue. I always wonder how he can layer wet paint like that and the blue still comes out being so clean and saturated. It's still picking up a bit of the warmth from the underlayer there, but it doesn't get muddy. It never gets muddy. Gord, such a pro. And checking back in with Alexander, what is he painting? Oh, looks like we are getting an animal in the foreground here. I think that we've got a running horse. Now that is a challenging composition because not only is Alexander dealing with foreshortening, but he's dealing with foreshortening of an animal, which can be kind of complicated. But it looks like the execution is going really well so far. Back with Susannah here. And I am wondering if she will be moving into this negative space that is around the figure. I can see a little bit of a wash in there already, but so we are just getting the announcement that it is 10 minutes elapsed, 10 minutes remaining on the clock. So these artists are halfway through the final round of the Art Battle Ottawa City Championship. Looks like Alexander has done some pretty good time management in terms of how he's established his piece so far. So with half of his time finished, he's got his background going. He's got this beautiful atmospheric sky. He's got his horse roughed in, and now he's budgeted the final 10 minutes for himself to really hone in on this piece and start adding in the details. So good job to Alexander for this careful time management in this live painting round. Definitely the mark of a pro. Seeing that gorgeous loose brushwork from Susannah, and the side of the face is meant to be in shadow, but it's this super saturated red, but it's still communicating a shadow. I love the optical illusion that Susannah is creating with that piece. And back with Alexander's running wild horse here. Definitely coming in here with the gravitas, getting a really serious feeling from this painting. This is pretty cinematic moment happening on the canvas at this point here, with this horse running toward the viewer. And we can see Gord is layering in this kind of buttery yellow. And we have 8 minutes left on the clock. I feel like he's going to darken up those leaves just a little bit. But I'm loving the way they are right now with this really strong warmth. And I know that some of that is still going to stay. So my heart isn't going to break. And so patient too. Gord is just chilling. He really knows his way around his process, and is just well on his way to creating a beautiful, beautiful piece. And check out what Sarah's got going on. The gestural quality of the hand resting on the shoulder there is so beautiful. We've got kind of this haunting expression from her figure here, quite illustrative, but also very painterly at the same time, in that we're seeing a lot of obvious brush strokes, a lot of washes happening in the hair where the paint has been watered down, and is creating all of these gradients. And now we can see that, I know you guys can't hear the songs just because of copyright, but we can see that Sarah is painting to the beat and creating these curved lines along with the music. It's just really fun to watch. And again, that can't be underestimated when you're in a live painting arena. People become drawn towards artists who are not only creating great pieces, but are having fun while they're doing it as well. And getting these hits of this bright green on top of the tree boughs here. I think in Gord's first qualifying round piece, the tree was quite a bit darker, and so I'm loving seeing this contrast of the way the light is hitting those tree boughs. Just those little hits here and there, creating that contrast against that rosy hue, and then everything just feeling really harmonized with the blue of the sky in the background and those subtle butter yellows, kind of bringing everything together into warmer tones. 5 minutes on the clock, 5 minutes remaining. Again, with this just unconventional color use from Susannah, but just executed so wonderfully. And the joyful expression here in this portrait is so great to see. And often we see artists shying away from doing smiling portraits because they can often end up appearing kind of cheesy, but this is not cheesy at all. It's definitely feeling like a very authentic moment. And I have to particularly commend Susannah on her execution of these teeth. Teeth are really, really hard to paint. And often teeth are the thing that make a smiling portrait look cheesy. And so really when you're painting teeth, you don't want to paint in every single line to show every single tooth. That's what makes a portrait kind of end up going more into that cartoony space. You're really just wanting to create shapes that suggest the teeth, and that's something that Susannah has done here. She's used her lightest shade of yellow to kind of carve out that shape, and then of course the contrast with that red there in the lips. And then we have that little tiny hit of white in the top eye there, and just bringing this piece to life. And she's giving us those hits of highlight on the darker side of the face as well, showing a really wonderful understanding of light. Just that often when you're painting a shadow of a face, sometimes there will be a slight bounce of light that will give you just the impression of a highlight just on the outside of that shadow. And we can see that Susannah has done that there. So our running horse with Alexander is going really, really well. Such a great sense of movement here. And really great understanding of the anatomy of the horse. I have to say I'm very, very impressed with that. Horses are difficult. They're complicated looking animals, and Alexander has dealt with this the body of the horse and the limbs in a very masterful way. And right now we can see that he's kind of suggesting in some lightning. So as if this scene wasn't intense enough, he's giving us a horse running in a storm. Two minutes remaining on the clock. And honestly, it doesn't even look like Gord needs it. He is just really, he seems happy with his piece already. He might even be cleaning his brushes at this point, I think, actually. Loving the confidence, Gord. Finishing. Oh, no, I called it too soon. He was cleaning his brush to add his final hits of light in between these tree branches there. And now we can see that Sarah has added in what I believe are some metallic highlights on this piece. It's so good. Just loving it. I think voting for this round is going to be really tough. Our final minute of the competition. And wow, Sarah has really brought it home with all of these hits of metallics in here. I know that this piece is stunning on camera, but I'm sure it's even more impactful in person, being able to see those kind of reflective elements.
Brushes down! There you have it, Ottawa, your third and final round of our Battle City Championship. This round is fire, eh? Thought this room was hot, but then you saw that art. So, get those bids in, get those votes in, now's the time. Only one will move on to be your champion, to represent you, Ottawa, at the Nationals coming up next month in Toronto. The winner tonight will also win $200, as well as a little bit of help along the expenses for all that damn expensive gas. So please don't wait. Make sure you get your votes in. Don't throw it away. It's not like if we're voting for a prime minister or anything like that. We can do this lovely night because we're Ottawa. That's how we do it. Can I get a round of applause for tonight's DJ Octo Rock?
Okay, and that marks the end of our final round in the Art Battle Ottawa City Championships. One of these four artists will emerge the winner and will move on to nationals to represent their city. It's an exciting night. It is an absolutely thrilling night for these guys. Four really wonderful paintings, very distinct executions and styles in each. We have Sarah with her illustrative yet painterly execution of this thoughtful, underwater almost portrait with all of these metallic elements. We have Gord with this just absolutely stunning tree that is so close to his studio style. It's just absolutely incredible the way that Gord is able to execute so quickly in 20 minutes in a single round. And of course, we have Alexander Barker and his execution of that very dramatic cinematic scene of a horse running through a lightning storm. And then last, but certainly not least, Susannah's beautiful and highly emotive, positive portrait with all of those unconventional colors. So I think that this is going to be a really tough vote for the crowd and for you guys out there watching. Make sure that you go to artbattle.com/vote. That is where you will be helping to determine who will be representing Ottawa in the 2022 Canadian National Championship. We will be back soon with our winner announcement as the votes roll in. Once again, all of these pieces created tonight are available for silent auction at that same link. So make sure that you bid early and bid often. And also the piece that we have been watching being created throughout the night in the front room by Alan Andre is also available through that link for auction as well. An absolutely gorgeous piece from Sarah here. Beautifully executed from Gord. Amazing sense of light and shadow from Alexander there. The votes are pouring in for the final round as we work to determine who will be representing Ottawa in the national championship. The person that moves on to nationals will actually be battling this gentleman right here. This is the 2019 defending champ, Alan Andre.
And it's just so good to be back in this environment with Ottawa, with these artists. Couldn't do it without you, obviously. So, big round of applause for everybody that came out tonight, please. You know, we may not be one of the biggest cities in the country, but I think we got some of the most spirit. We're killing it, so can't wait to see you all again next fall. And yeah, so get those votes in and we'll be right back with your winners.
We are just counting the final votes as they roll in. It is a really tight race, and the winner announcement is imminent. So if you have not voted yet, make sure that you get registered and go vote. The final votes are rolling in. Who is going to take it? In our final round, we had Sarah O'Neill, Gord Coulthard, Alexander Barker, and Susannah Robertson. Only one will move forward to represent the city of Ottawa in the 2022 Canadian National Championships, taking place in Toronto on July 20th. Very, very exciting night. Absolutely cannot wait to hear who won. And for all of the artists that painted with us tonight, if you want to go check out their individual Instagrams, you can go to the Art Battle Ottawa Instagram, where we have tagged everyone.
And apparently, so the season, what season was this? 11. 2 years ago, for the season 11, Ottawa champion, moving on to the national. Mr. Gordon Coulthard! Congratulations, sir. Would you like to say anything to the crowd?
Fun party and I love it. Yeah, it's good. Thanks, everybody.
Right on. Can I get a big round of applause for all the artists involved tonight? And let's keep that going for all the great people here at SAW for hosting us tonight, keeping our whistles wet, and my mic from screeching so bad. You guys all rock. Thank you, Ottawa. We'll be back in the fall, so follow us on social media, and you'll be able to watch the Nationals live. We'll be streaming on Discord, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you. We'll be... if you have won a painting in the auction, please just go see the people up front.
Wow. So the winner of the Art Battle Ottawa City Championship has officially been announced. A huge congratulations to Gord Coulthart. A very well-deserved win from a experienced art battle artist who truly paints such wonderful, wonderful paintings. We absolutely cannot wait to welcome Gord to the national stage on July 20th in Toronto. And a giant shout out to our team in Ottawa. Thank you so much to them for the execution of a wonderful event and for the support of creating just this wonderful art community around Art Battle in Ottawa. We really appreciate it. So great to see so many familiar painter faces tonight. And thank you all to you for watching with us and casting your votes. We will be back very soon with more live streamed events. Make sure that you're following the Art Battle Facebook page. That is where you will be able to see us streaming live. And be sure to join us on July 20th for the live stream. Once again, congratulations, Gord Coulthart.